Okay, so Lizz Reptile made this video where she put out some questions on the Orlando shoot. So I'm going to make this video where I sum up the questions and reply to them. Okay, so the first one. Why are the media and individuals not admitting that Omar acted in the name of Islamic terrorist groups? The simple answer is that people really don't understand Islam, which is why these regressives feel internal conflict with the truth. Cognitive dissonance actually causes physical reactions. It has similar reactions like anxiety. You can get sweaty palms, feel really uneasy or shaky, and sometimes people feel it in the gut because their, gut reaction is to assume that they already know what's true. I used to be a regressive when I didn't understand Islam and what it does. I think people avoid the words Muslim and terrorist together because they have been guilted into thinking that as a white person I'm the descendant of the worst people ever, or as a privileged Westerner I have to do everything in my power to not look racist or sexist or whatever. If they can blame something else, they will do their best to blame something else. Regressives have the same goal as Islam and Sharia law. Both take issue with freedom of speech, both take issue with open and accepted sexuality, both want to control how language is used and will divert attention from people seeing the real meanings. Both use violence, which is both verbal and physical, if you say something or you do something that they don't agree with. Both get offended when you talk about something that has nothing to do with them as a person. If, per se, you talk about the religion, they're going to take offense for the religion. They both believe that they are just in their actions, and that their way of life is the only way of life. They want to oppress women and men, but of course, making it harder for women, and so on and so on. I don't want this video to be about all the Islam problems, just questions and answers. Okay, so your second question. Why is it wrong to point out that this man was gay, and that it could have been the fuel for him to attack the Pulse Gay Bar? Well, Liz, because that's racist. Didn't you know? Come on, girl. It's 2016. The current year. Okay, so, in all seriousness, it's wrong because they really do believe that Christians are the plague of the earth. It's so insane that they think this, but I get why. It's all about statistics. If you look at how many Christians there are to Muslims in the West, you're going to see that a tiny amount of Muslims ends up being a tiny amount of deaths, supposedly. So, this holds up their idea that a whole lot of Christians means there's going to be a whole lot of bad Christians. Well, it's not the same, but they somehow construe this in their head. They seem to think that the only dangerous Muslims are ISIS, and that Islam has nothing to do with ISIS. This only feeds their bias to think that real Muslims are peaceful. I don't know, Liz, but these people are fucking cooked. It's just all about Christianity with them, and they don't want to see the reality that there are other religions in the world that are actually problematic. So, they can think it's wrong to call out Muslims on their actions, and we'll leave them in the dust because people want to have an actual debate or discussion on this subject, and then they just want people to not talk about it. We'll find a way out of this bullshit, and I think the only way is to discuss it. So, I also want to thank you for proposing these questions, because it's a great idea. Now, on to the third question. Why is it all about guns or video games? I think the media and some people are just so used to conflating games with violence that this is the normal reply to such an event, because the narrative has been pushed for over 20 years, and you can go back further to World War II or World War I. It all just comes down to fear propaganda, and they're directing fear towards the reality and those who point it out, instead of the actual problem. People do truly believe that America is the cause of terrorism and that ISIS is all the West's fault. Ugh. Yeah, people really do believe this. It's crazy. I agree with the science that stands up for games, showing that it actually has been positive for people, and that games allow us to release emotional baggage that we would normally take out on other people. I've seen people talk about how games have actually caused a decrease in violence. Now, we have been gradually getting less violent as a whole throughout modern times, but it is very possible that the gaming culture will help us become less violent a lot faster. Now, with guns, I don't have a problem with guns. I think people should have guns, or at least have the freedom to learn how to use a gun and to own a gun for self-defense if they do truly believe they need that, or if they want to hunt because feeding yourself is important. There's too many people that just fearmonger when it comes to guns, and I know because I used to do the same shit. I don't now, and for example, the whole shoot back hashtag, I think that's a great thing. Like, gay people in the area got together and even set up a gun, like a gay gun club. How awesome is that? Like, now instead of people not having defenses against instances like this, now people will have something, because the police don't just teleport to, a shooting like this, as, like TV would probably make you think. Reality is not like that. This is a very serious thing. If people were trained with how to use guns, do you think this would have happened? Probably not. Now, your fourth question. Why, after all of this, are we not allowed to criticize Islam or criticize Muslims? I really don't know. Like, the only reasons you get from these regressives are always hypocritical. They scream to the world constantly that Christianity is the worst thing ever, and that they are the cause of reasons. They complain about the Crusades like it was yesterday. Honestly, I can't believe so many people can feel trauma over something that they have no connection with, not generationally or genetically. Even though they can see the Crusades, they are completely blind to the events of today. Like, there's that whole thing of, if you don't understand history, it will repeat itself. It's repeating itself. And what do these regressives do? They blame it on the victims. It just doesn't make sense. Because, they criticize Christianity. So, I don't know. It's just a major hypocrisy. And then you have your last question. What do we do? I think we have to never stop questioning and talking about this subject. I will be doing so until Islam no longer entraps people in a religion of fear and causing Muslims to experience Stockholm Syndrome. It's a hard subject, and it's hard to come at it without emotional attachment, but you need that emotion to show people that this is real. It is scary, but that doesn't mean we should shy away from questioning Islam. Fear is a tool. You can let it own you, or you can own it. And if you own fear, you can use that power to defeat it. So if you listened, thanks for listening, and have a nice day. And if you truly want to, reply to Liz, reply to me, add on to this discussion, and make it bigger. Because the more people that talk about this, the sooner and closer we get to helping people, whether they're Muslim or not.